Hello, everybody. Let's see, we've got a few people in the house now. It's got Kitty, Tina, Rita, Mike, Net, William, Linda. Oh man, it's just popping in. Okay, you guys, I guess you see, I don't have anybody here with me right now. I guess he'll be here in a minute, but y'all keep chatting it up. And Big Bear, you can be seated now. And just keep chatting and talking, and we're going to get started here in a minute. I guess he'll show up sometime in the next minute or so. I mean, for him to be late, wow, that's just kind of crazy, guys. Let's see. Yes, we tree all caps for. Oh, there you are. You know we start at 8.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Homestead Network, cabinet members. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Big Bear for having come on and spoke about our food system and all the problems that we're having here and some of the other issues that's going on in our country tonight. This is a very serious time for us. As we all know, we're going into some hard days ahead. And it's been brought to my attention that we had some things that was going to be going on. So I had asked Jason to step in and speak for a moment about some things that I was concerned about, because I had a whole different program for tonight. And I'd like to take this opportunity to speak to y'all concerning some of our farming practices that's going on in this country. And I'd like to share with y'all some of a new book that I've put out. It's called Sweet Potatoes, because it has now become one of the superfoods in our country, and I believe it to be one of the most healthy foods that we could have in this country. What I want to do is, tonight, we're going to open this whole broadcast up to all things sweet potatoes. Good evening, Roxanne.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening, all fellow members of this network. I hope y'all have had a good evening so far, listening to Big Bear and Living on a Dime and Off-Grid Kid.
Off-Grid Kid, he's
Yes.
awesome.
All these who have come before us tonight, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of them. Now, moving forward with our program tonight. Tonight, this book that I have out that I want to put out to y'all is called A Sweet Potato Manual. I'm going to hold this book up and I'm going to let you see the new finished version of it. We spent quite some time, the cabinet and I, putting this together. I think that you will actually enjoy this book.
I'm the first lady, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the cabinet was involved in it. I'm sorry.
No.
Yes.
First lady?
The first lady actually did the printing of this book.
Somebody, you're creeping them out.
I'd like to show y'all some of the things that's going to be in this book. We have several different pictures as we talk about how we do our sweet potatoes here. This is a very interesting book. I think that each and every one who looks at this book will thoroughly enjoy it, because if you're like 90% of our country and you're illiterate, this book has pictures in it.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's just wrong.
I hope that this is no slight on our educational system in this country. It's just that we live in a time and age where people just don't give a darn. So,
it is a picture book.
It is a picture book as well as a book that has much writing in it. So, if you can't read, you can't write, you can look at the pictures. And I believe that this book, if you follow the instructions that is within this book, I believe that you yourself will be able to plant these sweet potatoes and actually grow them yourself.
Jennifer, your daughter. Okay, so we have kids watching tonight, y'all. This is funny.
Okay.
I have to live with this every day, okay?
This is a serious time.
Okay.
Now, moving on. We have a person that has asked us about bees, particularly mason bees. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, because of what's going on in our country and all the pesticides that's being used in this country, we have now had the colony collapse disorder with our honeybees. And as a result of that, there's a lot of pollination that's not going on in this country that needs to be able to be addressed. The book again, y'all.
I'm trying.
All right, y'all. Enough's enough, okay? It's time to quit being goofy, okay? Here we go.
You've already had somebody wet their pants.
All right, I am literally burning up sitting here.
Oh no, it's hot.
It is hot.
And we've got the air brought down.
I've got the air turned down.
Big
Oh,
Bear,
man.
we just had to. I'm sorry.
Okay, Big Bear. Look, Jason, we appreciate what you did tonight, man.
It was pretty awesome.
It was awesome. I think you missed your calling. I think you should have been a minister or something, you know?
Big Creek wants to know, are they Messianic
Messianic bees?
No,
Masonic?
I'll get it right, Masonic bees. Okay, y'all do notice we're wearing purple.
We're wearing purple tonight, and I'm being honest with y'all, I'm burning up in this shirt, so I'm thinking to go get out of this shirt. I'm going to let her talk to y'all about her sweet potato thing here while I go get out of this hot shirt and put me on some more comfortable clothes.
All right, guys. Okay, let's see if I can get a little bit straight. Let's talk about the sweet potatoes a little bit, if you want to. The meal. Most of you really like the meal, and so we did all things sweet potatoes, and that's not all the recipes I have. I have so many recipes, it's really crazy. Yes, he is a stripper now. I mean, but maybe he went in the other room. So the meal was something that we do quite often. I don't cook all those things at one time. I just did it for the video, and plus we had food for several days. And I have several videos coming up of the sweet potatoes. I'm going to do a couple. I did research because sweet potatoes were used a lot during the Depression. They were actually very much a part of the Native Americans' diet when Columbus came. And so I've been doing a lot of research into it for his book and everything, and discovered some things that I decided I'm going to use for another video on how to use sweet potatoes the way they did during the Depression, and even have a newspaper article from the 1800s talking about it. So this is going to be pretty awesome. And so now if my stripper gets back in here, we're going to open the floor up on questions, but we had some already. Maine Homestead Project. They sent us several questions, and these are really awesome questions, guys, on the sweet potatoes. And they wanted to know, can you try that, the leaves like spinach? And we haven't done it, but we researched it, and all the research shows that instead of canning the leaves of the sweet potato, most people blanch them and put them in the freezer, because when you can in the high heat, it takes away from the health benefits of it. So, you know, use your own discretion. You probably can do it, but it takes some of the properties away. Then they wanted to know how we stored them. We store them in the cellar, but we also can some and put in the cellar. So we have them both ways, and they last all winter. And they wanted to know, have we done this before? Yes, we do this every year. And this is something we do all the time here, is keep them that way. And I know most people don't have cellars, but a dark place somewhere helps to store them. And they wanted to know how long would they last. Well, we're going to show you in a little bit how long some of them will last. So we'll answer that question. And okay. Some of the others, you back?
I'm back. I'm about to burn up.
Yes, and we have an air conditioner now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
But yes, we're going to get to the variety that we plant, and then can we plant them for our own slips? Those two, he's going to answer throughout the afternoon as he talks about some of these things. And then the other question was, can coconut and almond flour be substituted in the recipes? Yes, in any of my recipes, you can substitute the coconut, almond, whatever kind of flour you use, because I took a regular flour recipe and substituted gluten-free. So you can substitute anything you want. Just if you need to use xanthan gum or something as a binding agent, make sure you do so. Okay, the Prez is back. I have to live with this every day. It's been wild all week.
It's been wild all week. We have had more fun with this all week. It's been really enjoyable. Okay, you were at talking about the sweet potatoes?
Yes, go back and start at the beginning. I just kind of answered a couple of the questions that main homestead project, but we're going to go back and start right at the very beginning. And y'all, he does have his book up, okay?
Yeah, it is really, it is my sweet potato book. We just went to the publisher and got it. It is already on our Etsy store. It has actually been there for a couple of days now.
I put it up just to see if anybody was paying attention.
And you can go there to get the information about it. It's 20-something pages long. You know, like I said, I know I was making fun of the book and everything, but really it is loaded with information about planting sweet potatoes. It's how we do it here at Deep South. I'm not going to promise you that that it works everywhere, but it works here. And anybody that lives in our zone will know that it works fine.
Okay, Edward Turner said he loved our potato dessert. It was really looked good. He's going to try it. And Gothic Sugar wants to know, does yeast work with gluten-free flour? Yes, it does. I make bread all the time, and it works fine. Deep South, I saw it, but can't order it till the 1st. That's fine.
That's fine.
They're going to be up.
They're going to be up.
Your daughter said the president. He's on every channel. We're going
to miss Flipper. Wow.
I'm sorry, dear.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, a while ago I was talking about the mason bees. Somebody asked a question about mason bees and a place to be able to purchase the mason bees. You can actually go to crownbees.com and purchase your mason bees there. And I was joking about the honey bees, but I was actually serious about that. We do have a serious issue going on in this country about the colony collapse disorder that's taking place. It's brought on by a lot of the pesticides that's being used. But let me just be 100% frank and honest with y'all. When it comes to gardening, honeybees are not really what does a lot of your pollinating in the garden. Honeybees,
not vegetables.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, when you have fruit orchards and stuff like that, yes, your fruit trees and things like that, honeybees are your prime pollinators. But now when it comes to your vegetable garden, your mason bees will actually do a better job than the honeybees will. And mason bees are a whole lot easier to obtain and to work with. So I hope that is a little bit more information, y'all, for the person who asked the questions about the bees and about the mason bees and where you could get them at. And there's a question being asked to you, babe. It says, Wanda, could you please make a video on gluten-free bread? We already have a video up on gluten-free bread.
It is in the recipes playlist, I believe. Actually, that's when Danny's making gluten-free bread, and he...
Yes.
Did we cook that on... What did we do? Did we do that on the stove?
No, we
did it on the...
We hand grinded the rice flour and made...
Yes, that's it.
We compared rice flour to the other flour, and we made 2 loaves of bread there and then. So.
Yes, that's what it was. We did do that, and so it is a gluten-free. But in that recipe that's up, we used ground white rice.
We ground our own white rice and actually made honey with it.
But I substitute in for that the Bob's Red Mill white rice, or Bob's Red Mill baking flour.
Baking flour, yes.
And it works fine. I add my yeast, and I saw somebody was saying something about you needed gluten to rise. No, the sugar is what feeds that, and it all works. You don't. I mean, it doesn't rise like regular bread. It doesn't get huge, but it's about, I don't know, a semi. What, 3/4 of the way of what bread does, maybe?
Yeah. We had a question asked. I'm trying to remember these questions as they go through. It was asked about white potatoes. have we ever grown white potatoes? Yes. When I grew up as a kid, the white Nancy Halls was all that my father would grow. My father really didn't like the yellow ones. He liked the white ones because they were a little bit drier. He preferred that taste. And I myself have grown Nancy Halls quite often myself. So yes, I do know about those. And will the bees overwinter up north, the mason bees? I'm not really that knowledgeable in that area, so I won't answer that because I don't actually know the truth. And if I don't know the truth, I'm not going to tell you
All
something.
right, now Maine Homestead Project, I wrote this down, but I see it popping up again. Is the book specific to growing in southern varieties of sweet potatoes only? Their growing season is shorter than ours, and they have different varieties that we grow.
It's not really, it really doesn't matter what variety you grow.
No.
Because the basic things that's talked about in this book is mainly just techniques that we use to grow these sweet potatoes and how to get them started, how to get your slips started from potatoes, and just the whole process about how we do it here. And the technique should work anywhere in the country that you can grow a sweet potato.
And two, all you would have to do is whatever the variety is, look at the days from planting to harvest. It would change from ours, but we didn't really, I think you mentioned ours, but it's not specific.
No, I have not ever grown the Satsuma Amino type sweet potato. I have never grown that, Beth.
One of the questions we got was the type. We plant
the Puerto Rican yams. I do plant the Beauregard sometime. It's just that my sweet potatoes, I have kept these variety of sweet potatoes for many, many years here. So I haven't really went back and bought slips in many, many years. So I can't really tell you that mine's still a true Puerto Rican yam because I've actually grown it here on my property for so many years.
And we had this question, I was alluding to that a while ago from Maine Homestead Project, about how long the potatoes last. We keep them in the cellar.
Yeah.
And I told him we would show them these were found in a box that he puts them in with straw, hay?
Well, I use straw.
Okay.
Now, there's a difference in straw and hay, y'all.
Y'all.
Straw is leftover, is actually the leftover stems whenever they harvest wheat. Hay actually has the seed heads in it and will actually mold on you if you put stuff in it. So be careful about how you do that.
So he did the straw, and he has potato boxes, and I think in our video you may have saw those. But when he was cleaning out for the white, regular red potatoes, whatever, he found these, and I'm going to show y'all.
These sweet potatoes right here that you're looking at on the screen, these sweet potatoes are 1.5 years old now.
They were put in there, well, about a year. We put them in there this time last year.
Oh, it was actually in the fall of last year when I put them in there.
Yeah, it's almost fall.
Yeah. Now this is what happens. These are what makes the slips right here on the sweet potatoes. When you plant these in the ground, this is what you will see coming up, and they will actually rise above the soil line, and that's how they grow out of the potatoes.
And you don't plant these to make your potatoes. You break these off when they have little roots.
Yes, they'll form roots all up the stem right there. And when they do, you can plant those, for your slips.
And you can still eat these. I mean, these are still good potatoes.
They're still good potatoes, but they'll be stringy a little bit.
Yeah. And these are some of our newer potatoes, and this is the size he's putting up for slips for next year. He'll put them in a box with this straw, and these will be fine in the spring.
Yeah, a lot of people actually save these real big old giant potatoes to grow their slips from. I don't actually do that. I've learned that the smaller, longer, more slender ones actually make better slips for me in the area in which I live in here. I've had better luck doing that. And in this book, I'll explain all that, and you can see that, what I'm talking about. And somebody asked, can they purchase slips from us during the year? I don't know if we'll be able to do that or not. I'll have to check and see. You'll have to check back with me next spring to see how things are going here, and then I can let you know.
Yes, that might be, because they do ship them all over the country, but we don't know right now how that'll work. But you just have to see. It
depends on how everything goes with us.
Yeah, and Heaven Help Us said they got 50 plus slips on 2 sweet potatoes. We planted maybe, a dozen?
We planted about a dozen sweet potatoes, and we planted 3 fields.
And we planted a lot of sweet potatoes off those. He would go break them off, and the next week they were back, and we'd go plant. We planted 4 different times in 4 different locations.
Yes.
So
we're going to be harvesting. Y'all saw one of our videos about us harvesting sweet potatoes. That was only 2 rows of sweet potatoes that we harvested. We still have 3 fields to go.
Probably.
And we'll be harvesting sweet potatoes all the way to the end of October, because I planted mine in 3-week sessions, so that they wouldn't come in all at once on us.
What is the average temperature of the storage area in our cellar?
The average temperature would be about 60 degrees.
And in ours, it gets a little warmer.
In the wintertime, it'll drop down into the low 50s. In the summertime, it'll go as high as 80 degrees. So I'm going to say between 60 and 65 degrees is probably an average temperature.
What will you do with all those sweet potatoes? Well, we eat sweet potatoes as fries. And so we
eat sweet potatoes every day.
Pretty much either fries, a baked potato, something in dessert, something like that. So we have sweet potato something just about every day. So we will eat that many sweet potatoes in a year. Okay, will you show us the area that you store them when you are done harvesting? Yes, we will be showing you the area in which we do it, and we'll be showing you how we do it. How long do you have to let them dry out? We let our sweet potatoes dry out for 2 weeks in a shade, in a climate where it's not rained on them. In other words, you don't ever want your potatoes to get wet. Just like an Irish potato, you don't want your sweet potatoes to ever get wet. You want them to stay completely dry. So we put them in an area where they can lay there for 2 weeks and cure, where the sun can actually get to them. Yeah, they're saying, but 3 fields. Well, you got to know the first field was what, 4 rows. First field's 5 rows. 5 rows, about 150 feet long. The second one is nearly the same length, just in a drop down location in the field, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows in that one. Yeah. And then the other one is up in the front where you saw our corn, which is half that size. It's not very long. They're about 60 feet long, and there's 5 rows of them. Okay, do you make sweet potato muffins? Yes, we make almost anything sweet potato. How long is our growing season? Our growing season here lasts from 200 to 265 days. Okay, and then they're saying sweet potato flour. Yes, now we're going to try something like that later. Do we dehydrate them and make chips? That was your daughter. Yeah. No, we hadn't, but we may try it. Somebody asked, can we store them in a garage? Can they store them in a garage? The only way you can keep them in the garage is if they don't freeze. If a sweet potato freezes, it will ruin. So you have to keep them way below freezing. Okay. I mean above freezing, not below. Yeah, but above. Yeah. I'm trying to see. Let's see. We're trying to. I think we're caught up right now with the questions. Unless I missed something. But yeah. Now. Start back at the videos. We want to talk about our videos a little. Oh, we've got a giveaway for you guys. Yes. So y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're going to do a giveaway here in a minute. About 5 minutes or so, we're going to do a giveaway. Okay. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about. Okay. Somebody want the bee lady asked several questions. A lot of them we keep slipping past us. She said, "Is your garden soil a sandy loam?" Yes. We live in a very sandy area. We have to add a lot of organic matter into our soil, because if not, then it dries out really quick. But it's always loose. Our soil is hardly ever packy. Okay, Ginger Rose wants to know if we're going to, I think it was Monticello or somewhere, for in October for a garden event. No, I didn't even know there was one. Do moles get our sweet potatoes? No, but rats do. We do have a problem with rats sometimes, but since we put pigs on the homestead, we haven't had a problem with rats anymore. And is there a target weight? Okie Rob wants to know, is there a target weight on the sweet potatoes for our winter storage? No. Actually, I prefer a smaller sweet potato. I will usually dig mine at 120 to 150 days from the time I plant them. And I've learned that is about the right size that I want. They're about 2 inches in diameter and about 8 inches long to 10 inches, something like that. So that's kind of what I like. Soil. Talk about the soil and what kind of pH and things like that. And right before I forget it, Jennifer, if you can send me the chip recipe, so people are asking, I'll get it to them.
Okay, I like for my soil, when I break my sweet potato ground up, I use what's called a pan plow. I'll break the ground about 16 inches deep and actually flip it over. And then I'll put I usually put my amendments into the soil before I flip it. I'll go in, I'll just put we run stuff through our wood chipper and our wood shredder, and like dry leaves, we put all this kind of stuff in there. And then I've got a big trash pile on my property that is rotted down from Katrina, and I'll go in and get several big bucketfuls of dirt and spread that through where we have our sweet potato bed at, and I'll flip that 16 inches under, and I'll let it sit over winter. I'll check my pH, because I like for my pH for sweet potatoes, I've learned it's best if I can keep it around 6.5. I seem to have better luck when I do that. You just want to make sure with sweet potatoes that you don't end up with too much nitrogen, because if you do, you end up with long, skinny roots that really don't make a potato, and you end up with luscious vines everywhere.
Arms family's in the house. We do have Secret Service now.
All right. Yes.
You know. All right. We have to do our giveaway shortly, so
yeah.
Run through some of our. We'll talk about sweet potatoes again in a few minutes, but let's start on the sugar cane.
You want to talk about your collab?
Yes. Let me catch up on some things, because we got kicked off on a crazy foot a while ago.
Yeah.
In September, I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Tangi, the caver's wife, and Amanda at the Fundamental Home. It's a harvest to table collaboration. It kicks off, I think, this coming Friday. I'm not sure who's doing Friday, but they're kicking off then, and we're going through the month of September. And right now we're participating in the top 5 tips
for beginning homesteaders.
With Brad from the Big Family Homestead, Big Bear Homestead, Go for Green Living, Off-Grid Kid, Off-Grid Nation, Living on a Dime. I may have forgot somebody. Okay, I'm like Off-Grid Kid. Somebody run through the list. If I didn't mention somebody, Brad, Big Bear, somebody stick it up there. I keep forgetting. And we're also going to be doing a collaboration with Palmetto Paratrooper. You know, PP, I have a hard time saying that Palmetto. Every time I go to say that, I say it wrong, and Danny looks at me funny.
Yeah.
So we're going to be, y'all be looking for a video with that.
Yeah, we're going to have a video coming up pretty soon with Palmetto Paratrooper. In a collaboration with him, we'll be showing a video on that. So y'all keep watching for that. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that a tremendous amount. Now, somebody asked a question about rats in the field. How do we control them? A while ago, I told you we use our pigs. Since we put pigs in the hollers and stuff around our property here, and we move them from field to field occasionally when we get through growing stuff in them, we have almost rid ourselves of rats. I bush hogged a whole field of corn that we picked the other day, and believe it or not, I did not see one rat in that whole field of corn. So I felt like that we were extremely blessed.
Yes, because I was videotaping it, and I was really worried that I was going to either get run over by a rat or I might catch one on. I was really wanting to catch one on video, but it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Okay.
Grandpa
says no one visits me for a collab.
Just hang on.
Hang on. When you get down south there, and I'm gonna say down south because it'll be down south from where you are now. you people will start wanting to come visit you, Grandpa. Okay. Now.
Talk about the videos
We're gonna talk about the videos just briefly here. Sugarcane mill refurbishing. The first video we had out this week. Zultan was able to help me as we refurbish this mill. This mill's been sitting on my property here for 20 some odd years. I used this mill many years ago to cook syrup in, and when I moved over to this particular homestead from my other one, I never did get a chance to set it back up, and then one day I did get a chance to set it up, and within a week we got hit by a tornado and a giant treetop fell on it and actually broke it. So it's been sitting around broke for quite some time until we was able to actually get it fixed and put back together. We actually are still in the process of getting the gin pole. We got it painted this week, and hopefully once this storm passes that we have in the Gulf down here, we'll be putting the gin pole back up on it and showing you a video of that and how we use it.
How do we have internet in a rural area? Not very good because this is
not very good
it's
internet.
a step above dial-up.
We've had to change our bit rates on our computer system and all that in order to be able to upload any kind of video here.
And we know it's not the best and it's not perfect, but it's the best we can do. And
Teresa says, Danny, you're very talented to make your own bearings and bushings. Well, I grew up in an era where the vehicles had what was called Babbitt bearings and stuff like that in them. And I watched my dad as he would pour a Babbitt bearing to go in a car and stuff, so I knew that it was possible to do that. He actually showed me how to take an old check and actually shim bearings in vehicles and how to use aluminum foil to put underneath a bearing in a crankshaft to be able to shim it up. So there's lots of things I learned over the years from fooling with things like that.
And then the porch time was, he was answering Big Bear's 22 for 22, talking about the 22 soldiers or veterans that come home and commit suicide each day. And that's just an awful number, 22 a day. So Danny did a tribute to them.
Yes, I did.
All veterans and all for that.
Yeah, that was the video I held out on for a little while because doing a video like that's kind of a problem for me because I myself suffer from a type of post-traumatic stress disorder because of things I've been through in my life, and I have to be in the right frame of mind when I do this because I've actually spoken with Jason about this, and he and I both agree that you never know when this problem is going to hit you, and it could hit me in the middle of this video session right here. You never know. You have no control over it. You just have to learn to live with it. Doctors have tried to give me meds and different things to be able to deal with it, and I'm one of these kind. I refuse to take medicine if at all possible, and I just basically try to learn to live with the situation until it clears up or gets a little bit better, and I can move on with it.
Yes, and there's several of them calling you MacGyver, and Jennifer said that she's always called him MacGyver. I've called him MacGyver. On our Facebook page, anytime before we started YouTube, I always said MacGyver did this, MacGyver did that, because he was always doing something. He takes things that you wouldn't normally use and puts them together to make something totally off the wall, and it looks awesome and works fine.
Yeah, I mean, because the bottom line is, if you're going to live on a homestead, you need to know how to do things. I mean, you got to learn to think outside the box. One of the issues in our country here is that we've been thrown into a microwave society. A lot of times, like my grandfather was a shoe cobbler. People used to, when a shoe wore out, they used to get their shoes fixed, resoled, or have them fixed. Now that we live in this microwave society, when a shoe goes bad, you just throw it away and get another one. I mean, that's why our landfills are staying so full, is because nobody has kept up with the old ways of learning how to do things. All they know is to just buy something new, throw something old away and buy something new. And that's one of the things on our channel that we really, really want to try to teach people is how to think outside the box, how to use your mind for something, or use your head for something other than a hat stand. You know what I mean? Just be able to think outside the box.
Okay, I think it's time we do our little giveaway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to tell y'all, anybody have any idea what we might be going to give away tonight?
Let's guess.
Let's have a guess section.
Come on, spit some out. Tell us
somebody spit something out and tell me what you think we might be wanting to give away tonight. It could be an assortment of a lot of things.
But what should we be giving away? Just because.
Come on.
They're a little.
I know y'all are about 15 seconds behind me. I'm not going to sit here in 15 seconds and wait on you, but.
Troll alert. Okay, do we have a troll?
If we have a troll, I need my.
Grandpa's whacking him.
Okay, Grandpa's catching them as fast as they can.
They're wanting sweet potatoes. Well, you're close. Now there goes the book. Okay.
Okay, the book. That's what everybody's wanting me to give away. Okay, well, you know what? You see this book right here? Somebody said potty meat.
Well, we did that.
I've already done that. Okay. So the book that you see here is.
Big Bear needs a wrench.
Yeah, give Big Bear a wrench.
Slow down a minute to find him.
Oh, you just type it over on the side. Yeah, come down here, right here.
Okay.
Click that on there. Yeah. This book right here is what we're going to be giving away tonight. So as soon as she gets through making Big Bear a moderator here, I'm going to tell y'all what the rules are to get this.
I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let me see.
Let's just see if it does.
Did it take it?
You hit enter? Yeah, just go out. It should work.
Okay. Well, I just messed this up. Give me a second.
Just hit the X right there. There you go.
All right, Big Bear, if it didn't work, I'll do it later.
It didn't take Jason, Will. I'm sorry. Okay. All right.
The rules right here.
The rules right here. She has a piece of paper in her hand right there. And what I want y'all to do is pick a number between 1 and 205. And when I see that correct number come up, the person who has it first will win one of these books.
And I'm keeping it right here.
So she's going to keep this piece of paper up here where y'all can see it, so you know the number's already wrote on this piece of paper. So we're going to just keep an eye out here for just a few minutes and see if we can actually, there are no numbers before then.
You see it? I'm going to have to run it back.
No, hold on.
I just saw it.
Did you see it?
Yes. I saw it. Hold the...
Okay, I've got the paper. I'm going to have to let her...
I got to scroll way back, you guys.
You got to stop it. Put your finger on it, stop it. Click it and stop it.
Okay.
Hold on, everybody. She said she saw the number. Let's see.
I did.
Okay, here we go. I hate to take up this kind of time, but this is really important for the person who's going to get this book. Okay.
Where are the numbers? I ran it way back.
Yeah, you went back way too far.
Okay, here comes the numbers.
Let's go through. We're going through the numbers, y'all. You got to move your arrow and click over on it. If you're on something else.
Hold on. Y'all, this is not easy when you got it set up the way we got it.
Y'all were in Mach 5 there. That's why we was...
Oh, man, I couldn't hardly...
My eyes like to started spinning there. Okay, we're going. Keep going. Hey, nope, that's wrong.
One off.
There's one off right there.
It freezes. You got to give it a second.
Okay, the computer's freezing up on us here.
I saw it, but it's just got it.
Oh, there it is.
Homestead McGregor.
Homestead McGregor shows the number 62, and his paper's been up here the whole time. And I want to show y'all it was the number 62. We chose a number that was on a sweet potato in our field. Just hit that right there.
Where?
Where it says more comments below. There you go, baby.
Okay, he's teaching me new tricks.
I'm having to teach you how to use this thing. This is a number that was on a sweet potato we dug up in our field, so we figured that we would use that that particular number.
All right, Homestead McGregor.
Homestead McGregor.
If you will, send us a private message on our About page and give us your address and stuff, and we'll send this out this week.
62 in there now.
Now y'all choose 62. Okay. Danny just wanted to know how many of you paid attention to our
video that had 62 on the potato when we dug it up out of the ground. We thought that was pretty cool to have that actually inscribed in the side of that potato. Our actual P.O. box is 462, so I mean that was what we just thought that was interesting.
And so now,
okay,
back to you, sweet potatoes.
Okay, I had to drink some of my good old Southern well water here, stump hole water.
We've still got things going up with numbers. I guess we're buffering enough that it's.
When can we buy your book? You can buy my book right now on Etsy.
Yes.
It's for sale on Etsy right now.
And we only put a few of the hard copy, but if it goes over that number, we will reset and we will order again because we're set up with a local printer to make them. And he told us anytime we needed them, we can just order more. So we're okay with that. And also, the book is up and going, and we're going to be adding other things to the Etsy store. I'm playing around with some ideas, and between now and Christmas, we hope to have some of them up.
Okay, we had the video up called How to Can Fresh Black-Eyed Peas. This was kind of an interesting thing for us this year. I mean, I have plenty of pea seeds saved, but we did an experiment this year. We went to the grocery store and we bought a 1 pound bag of black-eyed peas straight out of the grocery store. We came home, we prepared the field, and we planted those black-eyed peas. As you saw, I think we had a video out about when we did that. And we wanted to actually see if that would work. And my friends, I'm here to tell you, if you don't have money to order from a seed company, just go to your local grocery store and buy black-eyed peas, because we planted them. They have come up and done fantastic. As a matter of fact, we've been picking them, shelling them. The peas you saw in that video there.
We canned those, and I've got some more to can the first of the week. And
yep.
I've probably cooked out of them several times, and that was just 1 pound of peas. And so we've got 6 pints? 5 or 6, 5 pints.
5 pints, I think we was able to can.
And I probably have at least that many. I know that doesn't sound like a lot to some of you, but that is for off 1 pound of just dried peas. We've had 5 pints plus about that many Monday, and we've ate probably 4, 5, 6 meals out of them already. I've several little meals. So, I mean, off 1 pound. I mean, you could have fixed that 1 pound and you'd been gone in a meal or two.
Yeah, that 1 pound. So if you want to stock up on seeds, just go to your local grocery store and buy you a couple of 3 pounds of those packs and bring them home and just pack them in a bag or something, or however you want to store them, and put them up for storage in a dark place, and they'll last for years.
And somebody's asked them, were they organic? No, just plain old black-eyed peas. We tried the cheap brand, didn't spend very much on it, just to see.
We just wanted to check to see if they worked. And as far as I know, the black-eyed peas have not been genetically modified. So.
Yeah. And then somebody else was asking about organic. No, as far as we know, probably not. They were probably just plain old black-eyed peas that they planted to sell dry.
Okay. We had a video out this week called Sweet Potatoes a Superfood, and we've been asked numerous questions about sweet potatoes. And I hope that tonight, all the questions that we've been asked, I hope we've been able to answer some of these questions that was asked about sweet potatoes, because we were literally flooded with questions. And we still got a little bit of time there, I think.
Okay.
We got another 15, 16, 17, 18, 17 minutes. Let's see. I'm trying to think see if we had any more questions.
Will you be showing what you store your seeds in? I know that's come up a couple of times.
Yeah.
At some point, we're going to try to do a seed saving video showing what we store them in and how we're going to organize them. But right now,
all the seed saving is not in yet, so we're there'll probably be more toward the fall if we have a fall this year.
And your daughter mixes mayonnaise and black-eyed peas.
Yes.
A lot of people do.
And we had another video come up, it was Wanda's video that she did called All Things Sweet Potatoes.
Yes, and I've talked about that a little bit while you were getting ready. And so, most people like the recipes. A lot of the recipes are in my cookbook, and some of them, if they're not, we'll do another cookbook, but it'll probably be next year sometime. I mean, it takes a while to do one of those, and I'm totally exhausted from the first one and now his book. And so if we can just get all the projects done around here, we're in the process of getting a lot of projects finished and done that we've been putting off for a long time, and that's just been a blessing to us.
Okay, somebody asked a question, is there a difference between sweet potatoes and yams?
Yes.
Yes, there is a difference.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. Hopefully you'll be able to find an answer there. It's kind of lengthy for me to sit here and try to explain it, because our time is starting to run a little bit short here, and I want to make sure that I get through everything here before we actually, yes, you can plant sweet potatoes in a raised bed. You can plant sweet potatoes in a container.
Hollis and Nancy did a container garden. If you look up Hollis and Nancy's Homestead, they did a container garden, and I don't think he's dug them yet, but I'm anxious to see his sweet potatoes in that.
I do not know if ants are pollinators. I've never heard of ants being pollinators, so I'm going to say no, because I've never heard of it. And if someone happens to know anything different, then
I know they're on everything.
Yeah.
So I think we're up to everything we've covered this
except
week.
for the top 5 tips for homesteaders.
Yes, we're down to number 1 is tomorrow, and we are not giving it away.
I'm not giving number 1 away. Now, I've been asked a lot of questions about my order of things.
Start with number 5 and work your way.
You know, and I just literally, that's the way I look at life, is the way I had these laid out. Because I think that, to me, it's the way that I live my life, you know. The 5th one for me was animals, because I think that that's the last thing a person needs to think about when they move on to a homestead. I think that's probably one of those things that a lot of people try to do first. And really, it's one of the things that you should really do last, because animals, you need to have a lot of good fencing up. You need to have your facility in order before you actually try to, you know, try to purchase some sort of animal. And then the next thing was gardening, and that's what really threw a lot of people off. They thought that gardening should have been closer to number 1. And for me, gardening is not number 1, it's not number 2, it's not number 3, it's the 4th thing for me. Because before you know it, you can have a successful garden, you actually have to get your soil in condition, you have to get your pH ran, and actually it takes a little bit of time to get all this stuff done and get your dirt right before you can actually start gardening. The 3rd one was food storage. And I said food storage before gardening because when you first move on to a homestead, it takes a while to get a garden up and get it running. And should a life-changing event take place, then you need to be able to have some sort of food storage up and going. So I always urge people to start doing food storage before they actually start doing a garden. Just in case something goes wrong, you do have something to fall back on. And then number 2 was heat. Because if you've ever studied survival, you know that actually heat is number 1 in survival. Because if you don't have heat, you can only last 3 hours without heat. You can go 3 days without water. You can go 3 weeks without food. So heat for me was number 2. I think it is very important for a person to know how they're going to heat their homestead and how they're going to do it economically and do it successfully. I'm not telling you what number 1 is because I want you to guess. Then I want you to watch the video tomorrow to see what number 1 is.
That's right.
Okay, what do we got going on next?
I got to move my stuff. All right, what else is
Okay,
there?
what kind of questions? Do we have anybody? I'm afraid I'm missing some of people's questions. Aqua Farmer says, I can grow plants in air with no dirt. Yes, you can. If you have the facility set up to do it, you can sure do it.
Yes.
That is true from a survival standpoint.
You can't grow a plant without water.
True, you cannot grow it without water. You do have to have water.
Number 1 has to be other people. Palmetto paratrooper. You're going to really get me with that one.
Yeah. Love your neighbors. Everybody keeps throwing up all these things. No, none of you's got it right yet.
One has. I saw one that did get it right.
Well, I haven't seen anyone that got it right. There's not going to be anyone to get it right.
Yes, there's going to be somebody who gets it right.
Okay, President King with thumbs up. A great wife, Danny, will you eat sweet potato greens again? Yes. Yes, you talked about that, didn't you?
Yes, but I didn't talk about which greens we picked. Now, we did, I think in the video you might have showed, but it's the very ends that we picked. I know, I think the Asians maybe eat all of them, but we just picked the very tenderest parts on the ends because ours were to the point, the ones we were looking at were to that point that they were starting to change colors a little. Yeah. And I wanted the green ones and the softer stems at the end. But yes, they were very good. Somebody mentioned bacon today, and I would have loved to have had bacon on mine, okay? It would have been really, really good, but he can't really eat the bacon right now. No. So I did the coconut oil. Yes. So, but it was really good. Okay, Suburban Hibba is asking, do we have a pickle worm problem? We did this year. They got into our squash and cucumbers this year, and I mean, they just had a heyday with them. So, yes, we did have that problem this year. So, I'm just, you know, those are some of the things that we have talked about.
Y'all, I hope you'll excuse me for just a moment. We've had a situation arise here on the homestead. We have a pig problem. One of my Secret Service guys has just stepped in and told me that we have a problem with the pigs, and I'll be stepping out just momentarily to see if I can deal with this situation. Thank y'all.
Guys, I want to introduce y'all to our woofer, Zultan. Yeah, do y'all have any questions for Zultan? He has been here this week helping us out, and
Secret Service.
yeah, he's our Secret Service guy, if y'all didn't notice. And what we're going to do is ask y'all to go over to his channel. We're going to put a link up after into our description below and put his channel and link it. And we're going to ask you guys to go check him out. He did an awesome video and put it up today. And we're really proud of it, and we want y'all to see it. And he's going to start posting what he's doing here on Deep South, so check him out. Everybody's saying, hey, Zultan.
Hi back.
All right, they want to know, are you German?
No, I am not German. I am Mexican. My father is from Chicago, and my mother is Hungarian. And I may have been made in Portugal, so I'm from all around the place.
Yeah, and he has a great sense of humor. Down girls. Grandpa's saying down girls. They want to know, will you travel north?
Well, I travel north. Well, that depends on the future and how things work out. I didn't think I would stay here with Danny and Wanda, but if things work out, maybe I will even help out with my YouTube channel if it works out, and I might be going towards other homesteads and maybe making videos out of those. So I'm not sure.
Yes, and somebody's saying something about the Hungarian. Say something to them in Hungarian right quick, because it's a beautiful language, you guys.
Something in Hungarian.
Tell them hello.
Alright. Szia, a nevem Zoltán, és nagyon boldog vagyok ahhoz, hogy itt lehetek Bennival, meg Vandával. That meant I'm really happy to be, and I'm pleasure to be with Wanda and King, and Danny.
All right, now what was one surprise that you have learned here?
One surprise? Well, I was surprised to meet these two persons who know so much about everything, and that they could take me in and I could live with them and learn all this. Yeah.
What's been the most favorite thing you have done or learned while there?
My favorite thing? Boy, I think picking grapes was really fun, and I like the tractor. Mostly it's just speaking with Danny and Wanda. It's really fun. You'll learn stuff all the time.
Okay, now Maine Homestead Project said that would be great. They would love to host you here in the north if you want to experience the snow. So you've got one taker if you want to travel.
Right, yeah, I'm a little bit done with all this heat. It'll be a pleasure to go up to have some cold.
Grandpa's asking, what are your plans?
I don't have any plans. Actually, I just came here and I was looking for berries with my father, so that's how I got here. So I have no plans for the future.
He's kind of thinking about college. What was it in college?
All right, psychology.
Psychology.
Yes.
That was his one goal. He did go to Southern Miss for you guys that are here in Mississippi. What will you teach Danny?
What would I teach Danny? I think I can't. Nobody can teach anything to Danny. He'll teach you how to teach.
Yeah, and Susan Carmichael says you are one lucky man to get to share time with Danny and Wanda. Okay.
Right.
Yes, we're going to have to start winding up because I think it's time for an American homestead. But you guys, after this, please check out Zultan's channel. It's going to be in the description below. And he's done an awesome job setting this up. And I'm going to let Danny come in and have our prayer so y'all can head over to Zach at American Homestead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. We got the pig situation under control. As you noticed, my Secret Service guy came in and alerted me to the problem. He was able to deal with it in a timely fashion without the loss of life. So,
Yet.
moving forward, we were given a notice tonight that Texas Plow Girl, her husband, has an issue that he needs to be prayed about.
His name is Jimmy.
His name is Jimmy. I'm not going into a lot of details about what the prayer is about, but we're going to lift them up in prayer tonight. And what I'd like to do is for y'all to put your prayer requests up in the chat box on the side if you have any, so that the different people in the network here can see what you have going on, and they can pray for you also. And I would like to thank each and every one of y'all for joining us tonight in this particular live event. It has been most enjoyable. I enjoyed myself from the beginning. I've enjoyed all of y'all. Had a blast with you. There is one person here that I would like to mention tonight. She's a very good friend of mine. I've spoken with her before, and her name is Story Hilder. Story has had a bicycle accident, as most of y'all may know. She is recovering. There's been some extensive facial damage. She has a fracture in her neck, as far as I can understand, and her back. And she's a fine Christian lady, y'all. And she's one that I want to see lifted up before the Lord. I want to also see Brad's daughter, Grace. I want y'all to continue remembering her with her pneumonia issue, because I know Brad and them are probably wore down a lot right now. And it's easy to get discouraged when you get in a position like Story and Brad and the Texas Plow Girl and all these. The old devil's hard at work in this country, and he's really going after God's people.
We also want to remember this storm that's moving in. Right now, it is not a hurricane, but once it gets in the Gulf, as hot as it is, it could. And so they don't know which way it's going right now. So we are on storm alert just in case.
Yes. I want to also remember the vets that we did in 22 for 22 with Big Bear and collab with him. And all of y'all who have participated in this, because these guys are very close to us. They have served, they've done their time, and I feel like that they deserve more than what they actually get in return. And I know there's many more. I'm not going to have time to sit here and pray for each and every thing that pops up. But what we will try to do, we have someone there that says they need brain surgery, the B lady. She says, pray I won't need brain surgery. Okay, we will do that. And we were running out of time here, so I need to pray where we can.
If you guys would go over to Zach after we pray
at
an American Homestead and check out the homesteadnetwork.com for all times of live shows. There's a lot of changes, a lot of new people on.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we want to thank you tonight for just being good to us. And Father, you've been so much of a blessing to each and every one of us, to have given us all the benefits of life that you have now. Lord, we have several people here. The Texas Plow Girl has talked about her husband, Jimmy, and she's asked us to remember him in prayer. So I want to lift him up and ask that you work in his life, Lord, and take care of the situation there. And Lord, we know Grace keeps having problems with pneumonia. We want to lift her up and pray for her and for healing for her body, Lord. And Father, I think about Story and how she's had this bike accident, and Lord, a beautiful life that almost came to an end there. But you were gracious enough to spare it, Father. So we're asking that you heal her and get her back with Mr. Hilder and get her back living off the land in the homestead like she was, Father, and let her know that we're all praying for her and we all love her now. And Lord, the others that's been mentioned here, Father, we want to pray for one another. We want to pray for the vets that have problems, Father, the PTSD. We want to lift them up and ask that you heal them, Lord, both physically, spiritually, financially, mentally, Lord. All these areas we ask for healing in all these people now. I want to pray for everyone that was watching this channel tonight. I want to lift them up before you and ask that you bless their lives, Father, for having been so attentive and putting up with sometimes our foolishness, and yet sometimes when we were serious, Lord. I thank you for each and every one of them now. I ask this in thy name. Amen. Okay, y'all go over to Zach and go ahead and watch him and at American Homestead and tell you how much we appreciate and love each and every one of you. Good night.